Hello, hello. Happy, what's today?
Wednesday.
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 Happy Wednesday, June 3rd. Okay, you guys, as you guys can tell, we're a little nervous. I am not going to lie. Happy Wednesday. Today's June 3rd. And today we're launching our 5-day free business boot camp. And it is 11 o'clock on the dot Eastern Standard Time. And I know sometimes when people go live, they're like, we're going to wait. We're not waiting.
Nope.
We're not waiting. We're going to get right into it. So you're like, dang, Carla, yes, that's how I am. So my name is Carla. This is Sylvia. And we're going to get straight into it because one of the things that we're going to be teaching you in the next 5 days to have a successful and profitable business, the first thing is discipline. So I was just telling Sylvia a little while ago, Sylvia, we're not going to do this whole, okay, we're going to wait for people to log on. We're going to go straight into it. And then I said, because we have to teach people discipline.
Absolutely.
And what did she say?
I just think that I had a call last night and I was talking about how, discipline is key. I have a background in the military and you can't get anything done without discipline. You have to be disciplined.
No, but tell them what you told me. That's not what she said.
I'm being
No.
the nice version.
She's like, no, come on, Sylvia.
Okay.
She's like, oh, yeah. No. Tell me what you said last night.
I said that you cannot be considered an elite woman or man if you have no discipline. If you cannot set your timer or your calendar for a call, then you're definitely not elite or you're lacking in discipline.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Keep it real, girl.
Okay.
If you don't like the realness, you can just log off, okay? It's okay. I don't get my feelings hurt, okay? So this is what we're going to do, you guys. So we're going to go straight into it. So for the next 5 days, what are we doing here? We are having a business boot camp where we're going to be what's called ready, set, and launch. Now, we both know, and you know too, you're not going to learn everything in 5 days. But what we are going to do is going to get you ready to launch something. All right. So what we're going to be doing is for the next 5 days, we're going to be going over the mindset of a successful, profitable businesswoman. We're live here. Successful, profitable businesswoman. We're also going to be covering what products, what services are aligned with your values, passion, and purpose. Mm-hmm. We're going to be going over a lot of things. If you don't know what we're going over, go to the Facebook page called Ready, Set, Launch. You'll see both of our faces on the profile. If you're not on that page now, I invite you to do that because we're going to be giving away a lot of things. I'm going to tell you what we're going to give away. We're going to give away a workshop that I did with they paid $1,000 for this workshop, and Sylvia's going to give away.
I'm going to give away my workbook that I use with my elite clients it's the whole program in a workbook. So,
You're going to give that away?
Yes.
Oh, dang. Okay, I didn't know that. She said a workbook. I didn't know which workbook. She has so many, but that elite workbook is no joke. So go on that. It's called Ready, Set, Launch. Go on that one if you want to participate, okay? If you're on our personal Facebooks, if you comment, you're going to get one entry to the raffle. If you share, you're going to get 5. So if you comment, you get 1. You share, you get 5. It's the only way we're going to be able to do it. And then we're going to post who won these 2 things. So why are we here? Why did we decide to do this, Sylvia?
Well, I think one of the biggest things why we've been thinking about doing this because the times right now, a lot of stuff has been going on, a lot of changes, a lot of uncertainty. And one of the things that I say is that uncertainty has always been there, but we've never really seen it the way we're looking at it right now. Things are constantly changing. And what I have found, having a business for the length of time that I've had is that things are constantly changing. And so what better time?
And a lot of people don't like change, Sylvia.
A lot of people don't like change. But a lot of people do tell me, I've wanted to have a business. I've thought about launching a business, but I don't know where to start. I don't have a business plan. I don't have the certifications. I don't have all these things.
Do you have any of that?
Only for the training certification, personal training certification.
But do you have all these things?
No, I don't.
Me neither.
But I have a profitable business, okay? So and I've been able to help a lot of people, and I know Carla has too.
And that's one thing I want you guys to know. And why did I put her on the spot? Because so many people are like, I don't have this, I don't have that. By the way, you guys want to have a notebook and a pen, okay? Because we're going to be giving you guys some goodies. Write this down. You don't need to know everything. Literally write that down. I don't need to know everything. Yeah. What you do need, which is the topic of today, is you need, write this down, you need to have power. You need to have consistency. Mm-hmm. You need to have drive. And the biggest one of all, I think, you need to have a burning desire.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't have, because look, how many of you know people that have all these degrees? I have a degree. Have all these PhDs. I don't have a PhD. Have all these certifications. And Sylvia's going to be vulnerable in a minute. What she went through, that was like, she was those people that were collecting the goodies, right? Which is great. I love education. I went to USC and all that great stuff. But that doesn't mean you're going to have success. Actually, sometimes, by the way, you guys are just going to know this about me. I'm like really honest all the time. And sometimes you're not going to like my honesty. That's okay. I am really ridiculously smart. I'm very strategic. Don't make me research anything, okay? But my brain, like I'm a great chess player. I can play some good chess. Why do I say that? Because just because I'm not a good researcher, I'm not good this, good that, doesn't mean I'm not a smart person. Just because you don't have a degree, you don't have this, don't have that, does not mean you're not, we just lost Zoom.
Give us a second, you guys. So sometimes things like this happen, and this is part of the whole business thing, right? Is just being flexible, being super, super flexible. I think like one of the little buttons got pushed. But I'm gonna let Carla.
Well, here, keep going, girl.
Okay. I'm gonna let Carla figure that out. But anyways, as Carla was saying, you know, one of the biggest things is it doesn't matter where you are. You know, I'll share from my own story, okay? I have a background in the military. I was in the military prior to even being an entrepreneur. But I knew deep at my core that I was an entrepreneur. I was selling things when I was like 8 years old. I would sell cosmetics. I would sell candy. I would collect cans and go sell the cans to get money at a really, really young age. I knew deep inside that I had an entrepreneurial spirit. And I knew for me that that's something that I've always wanted to do. I figured out at an early age that I could get an item, sell it, and make more money. Okay? So sometimes you have that in you and sometimes you don't. Sometimes, like Carla said, you go to school and that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a profitable business, even if you do go to business school, right? But one of the things that we do want to share with you and really get you to understand is that you can develop yourself in that way. You can develop yourself in a way where you can develop those skills. And we're going to share with you how we've been able to do it because we have such different backgrounds, how we've been able to do that and build our businesses. So I'll get back to
Zoom, we're sorry, but we decided to do Zoom last minute because really we wanted to do this on Facebook. So if it disconnects again, go onto the Facebook, Ready, Set, Launch. Tomorrow, go on the Facebook, Ready, Set, Launch, because here we won't have any glitches. Zoom sometimes, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's her story. Let me tell you a little bit about mine. Just like Sylvia, since I was little, I've been a little hustler. I was always selling things, same thing. I come from a family that I'll be like, abuelita, quiero $1 para las paletas. You know, the popsicle guy would like, ding, ding, ding. And my grandma would, instead of giving me $1, she would actually give me things to sell. Since I was little, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I even sold, I don't think anybody really knows this, I even sold flowers at a gas station. Outside, you know how there's like people outside, whatever. And there was a guy, I went up to him and I said to him, I said, ¿Cuánto me pagas? Yo te ayudo. And the guy was like, I must have been like, I don't know, 10 or something. And he's like, ¿Cómo que you want to sell flowers? I'm like, sí, yo te ayudo a vender flores. And what happened was, he said, okay, cada bonche, every bunch is like $10 or whatever it was. I don't remember. Let's just say it was $6 for easy math. And then I said, okay. So he left. He counted them and he left. So what did I do? Nobody would buy $6 of flowers. So I would break them up and I would go to the cars, especially if there was a guy and a girl, and I would go to the guy and be like, mira una flor para tu novia. And he would be like, no, I'm like, mire, nomás son $2. So I broke the product down into pieces. Mm-hmm. So if you have anything to write down, write this down. To make business happen, you got to get creative. Write that down. To make business happen, you got to get creative. So for the next 5 days, we're going to be showing you how to have a side hustle from home, and it's going to take creativity. When this whole epidemic thing happened, I'm not going to lie. So let me tell you a little bit about me, just so you know who the heck I am. So I did that, went off to college, went to USC. I graduated. I got a regular job. Nothing wrong with that. But I did not like going like, I'm here. I'm leaving. What else could I do? I didn't like that. I'm like, this sucks. And I was working downtown LA. So my father already had his own business. He works with Herbalife Nutrition. And I saw him build this thing. Literally, that's what I called it, this thing. And this thing made him really rich. Disclaimer, a lot of hard work. And I was like, con tu hierba life. I started making fun of him. Write this down. Don't ever judge anything. Don't ever judge anything. I have a friend who's a multi-millionaire. He sells ice cream. And everybody, when we graduated from college, made fun of him. Who's laughing now in his Lamborghini? Okay? So never judge anything. As long as it's legal, you should be respectful of someone's hustle. And you should respect yourself for your own decisions of hustle. So anyway, I told my dad, I'm like, okay, tell me how to do this Herbalife thing. And so he told me in 13 months, I had $1 million business. That's not typical, but I'm not typical. Okay? And I'm going to share with you how I was able to do that in these next 5 days the best that I can. But today I'm going to share with you, we're going to share with you write that down. What kind of person is it going to take to have $1 million business? Sylvia's story is a little different, okay? I had a fast success, then I had a fast down, and then I went like this, and I'm like, come on, Carla. This lady had a different story. I'm going to let her share with you. But here's what I'm going to share with you, a couple of tips, okay? Number one, how are you going to have a successful business and a profitable business? The first thing you have to develop is an inner power. Write that down. You have to learn how to have an inner power, okay? This whole thing I want you to consider for the next 5 days. We're going to be giving you tactics. But I want you to know this. We can show you how, what to do, what ad, what color. We can show you all of that. But I want you to consider that where you are today has nothing to do with your lack of knowledge. Nothing. And it has everything to do with the internal power. What do I mean by that? Sylvia's going to share with you in a second. I'll let her share. But what do I mean by that? I mean that some people are like me. I'm not telling you should be like this. It's a little dangerous, okay? Everything has its pros and its cons, okay? So I'm the type of person that, okay, so I'm going to say one bad word in Spanish. It's not really, well, okay, I won't say it. I'll be like, dang it. And I'll just jump in the ocean. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to swim. Sylvia, give me a life jacket. Someone help me. I jump in first, and then I try to figure it out. So what ended up happening? Because that's how I started my business, okay? What happened was I grew really fast. But because I wasn't working on myself, as fast as I grew, as fast as I lost my business. 13 months, I had $1 million revenue business. September to January, 4 months later, my $80,000, $100,000 a month business went down to less than $40,000 a month. In revenue, not money, I wish. $40,000 down. It went down. Why? Because who I was didn't catch up to my success. I grew so fast, but I didn't grow with the business. I knew how to work and all that kind of stuff that we're going to teach you, but I didn't, my inner self didn't catch up. So guess what happened? And then I had an ego. I was like, girl, what took my dad 5 years? 13 months right here. My ego was so big, I think God, to be respectful of your religion, was like, oh, de verdad te crees chingona, niña? Chingona means badass. You think you're such badass? Let me show you what a badass you are. Anyway, boom, right down to less than $40,000 a month. And it took me 5 years to get myself back again. So that's my personal journey. And why that happened was because I didn't invest in myself. All I did was jump in the water and be like, and I would figure it out. And I want you to write this down. I was a hustler. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the stages of an entrepreneur. Actually, never mind. We're not going to. The giveaway that we're going to give away, I go through the phases of an entrepreneur. That $1,000 course, for every comment that you give on our things, you're going to get a raffle ticket. Every time you share, you're going to get 5 entries into the raffle and I'm going to send you my $1,000 program that I have. So actually, I got paid by Nationwide Insurance. Plug there. They paid me $1,000 for this, and we're going to give it to you. We're going to give it to one person that wins. So make sure you share this on your Facebook and things like that. So that's what happened to me. So Sylvia's story, so there's lessons in that, okay? We're not just telling you our story. There's lessons in what we're saying. Pay attention and write them down. If something hits, write it down. Sylvia's a different breed.
Okay. Oh my gosh. That was a lot. Like, I listened to Carla's story, and I remember when I met Carla, it was maybe like
How long have we known each other?
I think it's been like over 10 years.
I moved to LA in 2010.
Yes.
I think
that's when I met you in 2010.
10 years.
Yes. So
God, but now we still look good. We still look good.
A lot.
By the way, I'm 42 in case you're wondering, okay?
A lot happened from 2010. I got married twice, just to say. And
sorry, girl. I didn't think you were gonna say that.
I got married twice.
I finally got married. How's that?
Yeah, so we were single when we met, okay? And then we both have a toddler. So I have a 3-year-old, Carlos.
What's your toddler's name? And by the way, this wasn't planned, okay?
Yeah, no,
what's his name?
Bastian.
And my son's name is Sebastian.
And it's crazy how the universe works, right? Or how God works. But I want to tell you, my story is very different to Carla's story. I grew up in...
I'm going to fix your thing.
Okay. I grew up very different from Carla, okay? I grew up, my childhood was very different. My parents split up when I was a little girl. When I was like 4 or 5, my parents got separated. I went to live with my dad for a couple years. I moved around a lot. I had a really rough upbringing. I went from school to school to school. There was no like structure or stability in my life growing up. And around the age of 20, like I told you earlier, I love to sell. And like Carla said, we're sharing our stories for a reason. To see if maybe in one of our stories you have found yourself at some point and you've thought that maybe you wanted to have your own business. And maybe this will inspire you or spark something within you to, push forward, okay? So all that happened at the age of 20-something. I was in college. I was at Citrus College in Glendora. And I'm thinking, I want to go to the military. So I went and signed up for the military. Didn't tell my parents. Didn't tell anybody. I was always a little rebel. Didn't tell anyone. I am a rebel. I am a rebel. But being a rebel is good, okay? So I went and signed up for the military. Then 9/11 happened. I got deployed. I went to do a tour in Iraq. And when I was in Iraq, I gained 40 pounds, you guys. I gained 40 pounds overseas. I came back and I hired a trainer. Needless to say, most of you guys know I am in the fitness industry. And my career started. And I have to tell you, unlike Carla, I would say that I had a business, but I was making almost no money, okay? So I was that entrepreneur who had pretty much like almost like a nonprofit organization, pretty much. Because
a lot of people on the line, you guys have a business, but what you really have is a nonprofit.
Yeah, because I was making no profit, okay? So I would tell everyone that I was an entrepreneur because I had like 3 or 4 clients, okay? But I
remember all this. This is why I'm laughing. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and so like if I want to tell you that was a really hard time in my life. I was really trying to find myself. I was trying to find like, how am I gonna build my business? I knew that I wanted to have my own business. I knew I wanted time freedom. I knew I wanted to create my own income potential. But there was something missing. So I got into this whole journey of personal development. I started taking the seminars. I started doing the work that Carla says she failed to do. I began on a journey of a lot of growth, like just pretty much unlearning a lot of the stuff that happened in my childhood so that I could become successful. It took me longer. It didn't take me a year like it took Carla. So 10 years passed, you guys. I met Carla in 2010. And during all those years, I was barely getting by. I was just making it. Went through my first marriage, and I was working little like training clients here and there, just getting by. I was calling myself an entrepreneur, but I was barely making enough money to make ends meet. It wasn't until I had my son at 35 now. Now you're fast forward many years later. In 2016, I had my son. And it was that moment where I made a decision and I realized that nobody was going to come to save me, that my future was in my hands, that the only one that was going to give me everything was me, and that if I didn't get it together, I was going to struggle for the rest of my life. So in that year of having my son, from home, I went from 0 to 6 figures in less than a year. And it's just been up from there. So I want you to know that it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter what you have, what's your background, what's your history. You can start from any place, okay? So that's my story. So you know that you're dealing with 2 different types of entrepreneurs here. But nevertheless...
I cut up, girl. I cut up. I did the seminars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She definitely cut up,
I've done a lot of self-work. So just to let you guys know, I've done a... So I'd be like, it's not, she never... No, I invested in myself too, like a little too late. But write this down. It's never too late. Mm-hmm. It's never too late. She did all the work beforehand. And then she put it into action. So it wasn't too late, right? Now that I did all the work, like physical work, and my ego was big. I was a mess. I was a hot mess. And it took me 5 years working on myself, doing, I'm going to do a plug here. I love Landmark. Doesn't matter what you do. There's MIT, all kinds of stuff. Doing Landmark, getting a coach. A lot of you guys know her. Her name is Olga. If you haven't been plugged in, we have a 15-day challenge. Sylvia does this seminar every single Sunday. And then Olga does these calls for us, and they're free. Okay, inside this challenge that we're doing. So that's about us. So now, and by the way, like Sylvia said, I told her one of our commitments in the next 5 days is that there isn't a minute on this call, well, maybe a minute, but there isn't more than 5 minutes that you're like, okay, what's the point, right? We want you to understand that this is crucial time right now where time is of essence. So many people right now are now thinking like after this epidemic, we were blessed to be home. How's that? For all these months. And it made us think, number one, like maybe your partner and you, I know for me, it wasn't very easy having my husband and my son and myself inside a house for 2 months straight. Okay. I'm just being real. I don't know how we made it through, but we did. Okay. During that time, it made me think a lot, as I'm sure it's making you think. So I want you to write this down. I want you to actually ask yourself this question. What have I learned during the quarantine? I want you to ask yourself, what have you learned during the quarantine? Because if you can learn to see everything as a blessing, everything as a lesson, you'll never get stuck. You'll create a story, because I create stories all the time. But you'll never get stuck in the story. Because you're going to ask yourself, even with the whole, if you're watching this months later, right now it's June 3rd. Yesterday was Blackout Tuesday. There's riots everywhere. People are in distress. There's injustice going around all over the country and literally all over the world, right? And right now, I ask myself, I'm not going to get political about it, but I'm just asking myself, what am I learning about myself? And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter what it is, because there's children being locked up and no one's really talking about that. There's child trafficking. There's so many things that are injustices, right? And it made me think, Sylvia, I was like, what am I doing about all these things? And what am I someone that takes action in life? Not only in the situation out there, but in my household, in my personal life. So here's what I want you to write down. We're going to go over today's topic, okay? Which has been, and we've been talking about, what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? Number one, inner power. So many of you know what to do, but you're lacking the power to do it. Look, I'm guilty. Okay, there's been times that I'm like, okay, come on, Carla, go, right? And something holds me back. So Sylvia's an expert in that. So you guys can reach out to her if you need some help with that, because, you know, I'm like, girl, she coaches me all the time, right? So what is that thing that is holding us back, okay? So we're going to go through a couple of things that I found for myself. I'm going to let her share what I feel has held me back and how I pushed through it. So number one, you need internal power. Now, what has me, Carla Sandoval Martinez, hold back? I feel that a lot of the times how do you say this in English? Our decisions are not always going to be the most popular ones. Your decision of taking care of your health. All of a sudden, everyone has an opinion about you eating healthy. All of a sudden, you're like, I'm not going to drink anymore. Not drinking. Like, people have opinions all the time. So this is why you need to have an internal power. You need to be clear about what you want in your life. You want to start a side hustle? Not everyone is going to be like, oh, yes. Some people are going to be like, ¿qué te crees?
And I'm going to say something real quick to that, what you said. You said you need to be clear. But a big one is you need to be clear on, like, who you want to be, right? Because if you're clear on, like, who you are as an individual, then anyone else's, like, opinions, perspectives are not going to matter to you, because you know who you are. Like, you know your own commitment to yourself, right? And that's going to take, does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Like, if I'm committed to being this person, then anything that comes at me from the outside, I'm like, well, that's not who I am. So I show up to the world in this certain way, right? Okay, I'm so sorry to...
So no, that's really great. So for example, no judgment, okay? No judgment. I've never done drugs. No judgment. But I know people do. And I can be around, and I've been around. I went to college, you guys. I've been around drugs, and I don't even faze me. Now, put some... Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Put some like Doritos and Valentina around me. I'm gonna be like, don't touch it, Carla. Esta, don't even faze her, right? So that's a whole nother story, but we'll get into that later. So, yeah, I love that. You gotta know yourself. So be clear. Be clear on what you want. Now, we're talking about business, right? So tomorrow we're gonna go over the product and the service that needs to be aligned with your values and like who you are. And I'm not gonna go selling weed because it's not my thing, okay? Because I don't even do it. So you need to be in alignment with your values and your purpose.
Yeah.
Next, and we're gonna go to this right now, and that is, there is a thing in business called assets and liabilities, okay? Now, if you've taken accounting, you know what this is. Assets is something that it's adding value. This home is an asset for some, right? So it's putting, let's just say money, okay? It's putting money on the table, okay? That's an asset. A liability is when you're taking things off the table. So an asset is a plus, a liability is a minus. It's withdrawing. So some people value assets in a different way. Some people, like, I don't value cars. Some people do. That's an asset for them, right? But one of the things I want you to write down is this. In business, you got to be crystal clear. What are your assets and what are your liabilities? What are your assets and what are your liabilities? So we're going to go over that in a little bit. But the number one investment that you need to make in your life, and if you want to have a successful and profitable business, is you must invest in business. In your business. None of this one person one time, I said, hey, you should get this app. And it was like $2.99. And let's just say Juanita was like, I don't want to pay $2.99. You can't think that way.
Good luck, girl.
Pero sí. Oh, girl, but they have their nails and okay, these are fake eyelashes because we're in quarantine, okay? But, I go and get my lashes done when it's open. So you got to think this. The number one investment is your business. You cannot be stingy when it comes to investing in a business, in your business. Anything that's going to help you. Number one, it's tax deductible. Maybe in the future we'll get my accountant. He's an awesome guy to talk to us about that. But you got to learn to invest in your business. Yeah. Now, having said that, what is the best asset in your business and in your life? It's you. Mm-hmm. The most important asset, put it inside here. Oh. The most important asset is you. Now, I want you to think about something. As we're talking about the next 5 to 4 days, about the steps to launch your business, one of the things you must start to look at is, ask yourself this, write this question. Am I an asset or a liability to my life and my business? You got to ask yourself that. Are you an asset or a liability to your life and your business? The single thing that is going to get in the way from everything we're going to teach you guys in the next 4 days is going to be you. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't switch your way of thinking from scarcity, like, look, Sylvia and I, if she does well, I don't monetarily benefit. My bank account doesn't change because she does well. But I don't live in a life, we don't live in a life of scarcity. I'm not like, oh no, you're not, no. Because there is an abundance out there. But if you don't change that mindset, you'll always live in scarcity. Not only in your interactions with people, but that will bleed through in your business.
And let me just share, right now that Carla's talking about that, I think that's so important, because it's so common these days in the world that, you know, like Carla is in the health and wellness industry, and so am I. And my business, like she said, you know, we don't impact each other directly, okay? Indirectly we do, but not directly. But a lot of what happens in the world or in business is, well, I can't bring my clients around her, because what if they like her and, you know, now they want to be her client? So you know what? I'd rather not work with her, because I don't want my clients to be exposed to her. They might leave me. That is a scarcity mentality. But in this world where it's like we could collaborate, and a lot of people get stuck because they are not open to collaborating, is how can we use each other to help each other grow, right? So abundance mindset means that there's more than enough, right? Abundance mindset means there's more than enough. Okay, so there's no need to think like, oh, she might do this or I might do this to her. Of course, that's natural. You know, that happens in this world. You know, that does happen.
But don't you think that, so for example, as you can see, she loves tattoos. I don't have one bit of tattoo on my body. We couldn't be more different. Mm-hmm. You're blonde today, I'm dark today. Next month might be look different. But don't you think, Sylvia, that there's not only their abundance, but like who's gonna be drawn to me is not gonna be the same person that's gonna be drawn to you. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
So like people are gonna vibe with you. People that vibe with you don't vibe with me as much, or they might be like, well, I like Carla, but I really vibe with Sylvia, or I vibe with Sylvia, but you know what I'm saying? Do you think that happens?
Absolutely. You know, I feel that every single person attracts a certain type of person, like exactly what Carla said. You know, I think my biggest thing is that a scarcity mentality is almost like a spirit of fear, is what I like to call it.
Ooh, I like that.
A spirit of fear. And in my elite call last night, that's what we talked about is, are you operating from a spirit of fear in your life right now?
What does that mean?
A spirit of fear means that you're constantly thinking of, oh, the economy is going to be bad, or oh my God, like I'm going to lose my job, or oh my God, like clients are not going to come. Oh my God, my business is going to be impacted. Like everything that could go wrong that's what you're thinking about. That is what I call a spirit of fear. Mm-hmm. A spirit of walking in faith is different, is let me see what opportunities are out there. Let me see who I can collaborate with. Let me see, so if I do happen to lose my job, what can I do now what opportunity can I take? So there's a saying that I took a long time ago, and it says, opportunities are never lost. They're taken by the right person.
Ooh, say that again.
Opportunities.
You guys write that down.
Opportunities are never lost. They are taken by the right person. Okay? They're not lost. It's just a matter of the right person coming along and taking that opportunity, because if you're operating from a scarcity mindset, everything that comes along your way, they just want to sell me something. Oh, they just want to get something. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever met someone like that you show them?
Are you like that?
Yeah, are you like that? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I say sometimes? That the world wants to give you something. They want to give you this beautiful cup that somebody bought me, right? But you're like this.
Yeah.
You're always you're ready to fight the world. So the world wants to give you, but you just don't open up.
And that was me. A lot of it is going to have to do with your upbringing. That was me. I grew up in a world where
How did you change that?
Well, a lot of things had to change. I had to start what we talked about, a lot of personal growth, right? A lot of investing in myself. And I'm not talking about going to school. I'm talking about personal growth, like reading a lot of books, investing into mentors, which is one of the amazing things about being in this challenge, is that you get us as your mentor. But investing into mentors, I invested a lot of money. And maybe you're thinking well, I don't have that kind of money right now to invest in a mentor. Well, first off, you have us to help you. But for me at the time, I was reading books. I was reading a lot of books. Back then, YouTube wasn't even up and going, but a lot of books. And I was constantly on a search. So if you're asking the right questions, the universe is going to respond. But if you ask lower level questions, you're going to get really bad answers, okay? So we want to teach you.
You guys write that down. Okay, what'd you say again?
Lower level questions. So I'll ask you what's a lower level question, okay? And please don't take this personal, but we're teaching you how to have a business mindset, okay? A lower level question is a question that is a low vibration question, a low frequency. And that is, why does this always happen to me? That's a low level question. Why not you?
Look at Sylvia's face.
Why not you? It's happened to me. Why not you? The question to ask is, how do I overcome this challenge? Or what is the biggest lesson in this challenge for me? What can I take from this challenge? But a low level question is, why me? Why does this always happen to me?
You mean when something bad happens?
Yeah, because the thing about it is, what about everything that Carla shared about her story and everything that led up to her where she is now, is there was a lot of bad things that happened in my life about the business mindset, why I wasn't launching my business for 10 years, why I was a broke entrepreneur, was because I always used to think of when my life gets better or when my husband gets it together, then I'm going to be successful. And I had an image of what I thought I wanted my life to be. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom whenever I have a child. And that's not even me.
So I got to tell you guys something, okay? So in the next 5 days, we're going to show you how to work from home. We're going to show you how. So today's topic is all about the mindset that you need to be able to continue, right? Because de nada sirve that we teach you, the tactics and all this and all that if you're not good with yourself. So one of the things that I want you to write this down, and Sylvia already talked about this, is, by the way, you guys, we're going to be giving you homework assignments. You're going to get an email with some work to get you moving. It's not just, come listen to Carla and Sylvia. Go ahead.
And hold on, and I want to say something, because some of you guys might associate homework assignments with something negative. Because I do.
That's the nerd in me. That's the nerd in me.
Don't give me no damn homework, because I'm not doing it. I'm a rebel. I don't like homework. But we're going to give you some tasks that are going to help you propel your business this week. There you go, as I don't like that word homework.
See, and I do. Okay, thank you, Sylvia. See, this is why I'm saying this. We couldn't be more different, right? Me, I'm the nerd. I would be like, I would come home and be like, mira mi tarea, look my homework. Sylvia would probably be like, I didn't get no homework today, Mom.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to get, what'd you call it?
Some tasks, that are going to propel your business.
There you go. You're going to get an email that's going to help you propel your business, okay? So if you're not on the email list, if we don't have your information, what you want to do is you want to make sure you get together with the person that invited you to this. Somebody sends you this invitation. Go back to that person and be like, those girls were talking about this Google Doc. We're also going to put it on the Facebook page. It's called Ready, Set, Launch. There's a couple of Facebook pages like that, but it's got our faces on it. I got a yellow dress. She's got a black dress. So look for that, okay? And in there will be the Google form. You got to make sure you tell us who invited you to this, because that is going to be one of your coaches. Her and I are available to you, but there's only two of us. But that person that invited you to this is going to be your coach for the next 5 days if you decide to launch something, okay? So make sure you get on that Google form.
And I want to interrupt. Sorry, Carla. I want to say, look, maybe the thought of oh my God, I'm going to start a business in the next 5 days freaks you out. Excuse me. I want to tell you that no, one of the things that we're going to help you do is brainstorm that part. Okay. So don't get overwhelmed in thinking oh, I need to launch my business in 5 days. We're going to
see, that's the me.
Okay. So the thing
Thank
is,
you, Sylvia. Sylvia's going to keep us together.
The thing is that I don't want you to I know that it could be overwhelming, especially if you come from a corporate background, or if you have a corporate job,
or if you're not a daredevil. You want to in all seriousness, some of you freak out unless you have it all figured out.
Yeah, a plan, okay? And the structure, yes. So the thing about it, sometimes when you're going to start a business, what you hear a lot of times is you need to have a business plan. You need to have a business plan. You need to have a business plan. And I'm going to tell you, yes, you do need to have a business plan at some point, okay? At some point. I'm going to tell you that I pretty much created a 6-figure business with a 0 business plan.
I still don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not telling you that you're never gonna need one, okay? But what we are saying is that a big part of the reason why we thought about this name, Ready, Set, Launch, because oftentimes, and you can think about maybe if this is you, is maybe you've had an idea, maybe you had a desire to quit your job at some point, maybe you've thought of having a business, but the thought of doing it freaks you out because you don't have all your ducks in line. And our job is to show you that you don't need to have everything perfect to launch. You need to get ready, get set with their minor strategies, and then launch. Once you launch, even us with this 5-day boot camp, we got together, we had an idea, and we're let's go to work. And that's it from there.
And do we have it all figured out?
Absolutely
Clearly not. The Zoom turned off.
Yeah.
Her battery died.
My phone battery died. I think I lost all the people on my Facebook Live. My phone died. So,
but the thing is, we're not getting stopped.
Exactly.
We just learned next time we have our phones, everything charged. We now learn to do Zoom on a different computer, not on, we are learning, right? So I just want you guys to know something, okay? So thank you, Sylvia, for that. I want to tell you guys a little disclaimer, okay? So Sylvia and I are very different, okay? So don't be oh, Carla said she's going to keep me in check, okay? Because I am a little Chingisu, let's just go. And that, you just gave me an aha moment. Maybe that's why a lot of people are scared of me, right? But some of you guys are like me, and that's great. And some of you guys are not like me, and that's what's so great about Sylvia. Yes, no problem mentality. So we're I'm gonna finish this topic. She's gonna have some closing words, and then we're gonna go. If you guys have any questions on the Facebook page, the Ready, Set, Launch. If you're over here, you're welcome to stay on, okay? But we're gonna go and do questions on the Ready, Set, Launch page. So if you guys have any questions, start typing them in. We're going to take the last 14 minutes to do that, last 10 minutes to do that. So let's just complete this thought, okay? So what do you need to have a successful mindset? Okay, yes, like she said, a no problem mentality. But in your email, you're going to get some tasks, some strategies, some techniques, some structure, some homework for some of you on what you can start doing to get yourself in alignment with what are your values and your purpose. Because tomorrow, when we go over the products, you need to know a little bit about yourself. Like I said, no judgment. I've never done drugs. So I probably am not going to open a smoke shop. Okay? I love health and fitness. I love helping people live a healthy, active lifestyle. I love empowering people. And my personal values, my personal purpose is empowering people in all the areas of their life. So while I own a boot camp, and while I do, have a health and wellness business, I personally believe that when you have a strong body, you have a strong mindset. Now, some people don't believe that. They're more in the empowerment, business. So they're empowering people mentally and they never touch the body. That's not my personal philosophy. Our values are, if you're not, and I want you to talk about what you told me the other day about the dress, if you don't feel good. If you don't have, my personal philosophy is, if you don't have a good health, if you're not vibrant, and I want you to write this word down. We're going to talk a lot about this in the next 5 days. If you're not a full dimensional woman, if you're not a full dimensional woman, you're not going to live your full self. You're not going to be able to sustain success. You might be able to reach success as I did. But in order for you to sustain success, you must be able to have a full dimensional life. Body, mind, relationship, spirit. Okay, whatever all those mean to you. So, in conclusion for me, before I turn over to Sylvia, what does it take for me to have a successful business? Inner power, purpose, clarity, knowing that you are your best asset. Okay, you are your best asset. Don't be cheap in investing in yourself. So many people don't invest in themselves, but they have beautiful cars and they have beautiful whatever, and they are not well within themselves physically, You guys all know I love CR7. That's what I've been drinking the whole time. CR7. I have like 3 canisters of CR7 because I need to be good for me to do good. Okay, and last but not least, tomorrow we're going to go over a lot of this, but you got to have certainty. And what that means, we're going to go over that. Okay, but I forgot to talk about that. You got to have certainty and not live in a scarcity mindset, because tomorrow when we go over the products and the services, some of you need to collaborate in order to be successful. I don't have what she has. She has all this knowledge up here, and I'm like, wow. Every time she talks, I'm like, wow. Okay? So why we collaborate? Because we couldn't be more different. I don't have things that she has. So in order for me to live my full purpose, I need to collaborate with other people because I don't have it all. I never will. I'm not interested in having it all. I'm just interested in developing my best self with what God gave me. And I have a lot of great assets, but not all the assets. So those are my requirements to have a successful, profitable business. What are yours while I look at the questions?
Okay, so last but not least, because we know that you guys have stuff to get to, and we want to be respectful of your time, I want to tell you that I love everything that Carla touched on, and I want to share with you that business is a marathon, and business is a marathon. Life is a marathon. Business is a marathon. The fact that I didn't develop my business in those 10 years or whatever the case is, the fact that it took me that long to build my business didn't take away from, that is what made me who I am today, right? Now, we don't want you to take 10 years, right? We don't want you to go through, I don't want you to go through those growing pains that I went through, but business is a marathon. And what Carla was saying, one of the things that I really love teaching women now, like Carla said, I'll be 39 next month, and I feel amazing, probably better than I've ever felt my entire life at this point in my life, because mentally I'm in a really great place. Physically, I'm in a really great place. I'm able to take care of my son any way that I want. Whatever I want to do, I can do with my son. And that is one of the best places to be. But if you feel good about yourself as a woman, as a man, that is the most priceless thing, right? like Carla said, I have to say that a lot of people, they don't bring the whole physical component about, you could build a really big business and probably never focus on your health or your body or anything like that. But I really believe truly in my heart that you don't know your potential until you've tapped into your potential of your own strength of your body. You have not tapped into your ultimate potential until you work on yourself, like physically. Okay, I had a food addiction. So when you hear Carla talking about all this like drug and stuff, I didn't have a drug addiction. I was addicted to food. Literally, I had to go through a program for food addicts, and none of that stuff helped me. I had to find my own way. I had to heal myself of that. But I struggled with an addiction for a very long time. It was one of the darkest times in my life. And out of that tragic time in my life came out the beautiful thing, which was my business and the life I live today, right? Is my life perfect? By no means, okay? Because there's a lot of subconscious stuff that I still deal with. But nevertheless, it doesn't keep me from showing up to this marathon. It doesn't keep me from keep going. There's a difference. There's a difference of, Carla's dad said something the other day that I loved. And he said, you don't run a marathon and stop in the middle and get out of the race and get a medal. You don't. It doesn't work that way. If you get off the marathon, you don't get that medal. That was like the most impactful thing that I'm like, because I know, because I ran marathons. So I'm like, that is so true. If you get off, you're not going to get the medal. So the one that gets the medal is the one that finishes the marathon. If it takes you 10 years, if it takes you 5 years, if it takes you 1 year, whatever it is. And I want to leave you with that, is that, like Carla said, we're going to give you some action steps. That's the word, right?
That's the word.
Someone wrote it on there and I saw it. We're going to give you some action steps so that, wherever you find yourself, you can maybe see yourself maybe like partially in my life, or maybe your life was different and maybe you can relate to Carla. But wherever you are, the biggest piece is that investing in yourself, like your health, making sure that at the end of the day, you feel good. Because like I told Carla the other day when we were designing this program, is that when you don't feel good, you won't record the Instagram video, you won't go to the interview, you won't want to take the picture, you won't want to speak, because you don't feel good about yourself. So it keeps you from doing a lot of things when you don't feel good.
I really hope you guys got that. I really hope you guys just got what she just said.
So,
I was like...
Yeah, and so when you don't feel good, you don't show up to the world as like your complete self. You show up partially. So it would be like if I chop half of this thing and only show you my face, because that's the only thing I feel good about, okay? And wherever you are is perfect. That's where you are right now, and that's where you begin. You don't go back and wish that things were different. You don't go forward and start like worrying about the future. That is, again, like that worry habit. But you stay present in this moment, especially right now, is moment by moment by moment. Like, what can I do today? So in these next 5 days, you can do a lot. Even if it's a little, you can do a lot. So that's my final words. And
we have no questions. Wow. Like, okay, guys. So here's the deal, right? So if you are on my personal Facebook or Sylvia's, you want to go to the Ready, Set, Launch and fill out the Google form. Make sure there's a point there where it says, how did you hear, like who referred you? Make sure you tell us who referred you, because that's going to be your point of contact, not Sylvia and I. If I invited you, then I'm your point of contact,
right.
But you need to put it on there, right? So you need to put on there who invited you to this, because we're going to be communicating. We have a team of coaches, okay? So Sylvia and I are just doing this because we really wanted to impact, we love men. I love men. I'm married to a man. But I love working with women, Okay, so we wanted to impact women, and but men are men, and I know there's men on this call. So welcome, Paco and Nurel and everybody else. So make sure you fill out that form so that we can send you the action steps that you're gonna take before tomorrow. So tomorrow's call is going to be about products and service. One of the things you need to know is that we're gonna start at 11 sharp. We're gonna say hi for like 45 seconds, a minute maybe, and we're gonna get right into it. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are like, okay, no judgment, okay, it's just my personal pet peeve. Okay, we're gonna wait. Everybody, I'm like, I'm not waiting for anybody. Showing up means showing up. So that's part of the training.
But you're gonna be a nonprofit if you don't show up. You're gonna be a nonprofit. There's nothing, and I'm part of a nonprofit. But if you can't run your business like a nonprofit, okay? So that's going to be the first thing. You need to show up.
So we're going to start at 11 o'clock sharp Pacific Standard Time, okay? And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Tomorrow, I'm running a workout. So I'm going to look good. But, what is it? We just do what we got to do. So make sure you get back together with the person that sent you this video. Get back together with the person that invited you. And tell them, okay, how do I get on this Google form? So that's one thing. The second thing I want you to take action step is this. I want you to start thinking about what would your ideal life look like. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you. We're going to talk about how to create a wellness business, a health and wellness business. We're not going to teach you how to make cups because that's not what we know. We're going to teach you what we know. That's how to build a successful, profitable, six-figure, okay, health and wellness business. Now, my business does about $3 million a year, okay, but I didn't start like that. So if you're already in the business, I'm going to show you how I took it to another level. Okay, so you're going to be learning how to do that. So I'm just being honest and being transparent. We're going to talk about what we do, okay? And so if that's not what you want, no problem, but we are going to talk about how to build a health and wellness business.
And I'm going to tell you guys, look, just because you're not interested, for instance, if you're thinking, I'm not into health and wellness, but I guarantee you, if you come to this challenge, I don't care what business you want to start, you're going to learn something, okay? Because a lot of the principles apply to any type of business. We are passionate about health and wellness, and we've built businesses in health and wellness industry. And if you like to take care of yourself, you like empowering people, you love sharing anything that has to do about nutrition and health and feeling good, positive energy, this is where you want to be. Yeah.
I just wanted to let you guys know because I don't want to get messages you guys keep talking about health. So we know. So, you guys can apply this to anything, but we're going to be talking about health and wellness, okay? So it is 11:59. So we are going to start on time. We're going to end on time. So if you're over here, make sure you go back to the Facebook page, Ready, Set, Launch. Make sure you fill out that form. I'm going to put it in a second. And it's 12 o'clock. Bye-bye.